Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Georgia and I upload twice a week, mostly beauty related, with some probably fashion and lifestyle mixed into. So for today's video, I am doing this makeup look right here that I've got on. It's kind of like a quick, easy glam makeup for New Year's Eve. Not everyone has all day to get glammed up, or even then you might not be wanting to get all glammed up with sharp contour, wing liner, all that jazz. So this is just a really easy makeup look to do. A brown eye, full face, beaming highlighter, everything about it. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look and what products I used, just keep on watching. Get my hair up. Sorry about the mess with my hair, I've literally just washed it. I'm just going to do my eyes first because I am going to be using my glitter. So I'm just starting off by priming my eye. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. This is honestly my favourite eye primer ever. It's the best one. I have tried the Peel base and I just don't like it as much as what I like this one. It's honestly amazing. I bought a mini to start off with because this one is a lot more expensive than the Peel one. So I would recommend, if you want to try getting a mini one first. I am going to do this eye on camera and then I'll do that eye off camera, just because it takes me a while to do my makeup, especially my eye makeup, so it's probably going to be a lot quicker doing one off camera than it is on camera. So the palette I'm going to use today is this one. It's one by Revolution. It's the Reloaded Velvet Rose palette. It's actually a dupe of the Soft Glam, and I just think this is going to be a really nice palette for a kind of easy glam New Year's makeup look. So the first shade I'm going in with is this one kind of here, with maybe a mixture of this one. Actually not that one, this one. Just this like, okay, want a nice warm look. So I'm just taking on this big massive fluffy Morphe E27 brush, and I'm just going to go in with this directly in the crease. Now this is not the usual technique that I use when it comes to doing like eyeshadow. I do the technique that a lot of people do nowadays, where I go darkest to light. But for these kind of blown out smoky, like blown out brown looks, I actually just use the original technique that everyone did, because it's actually a lot easier. So I've just went in with that kind of dark orangey brown shade. I'm just blowing it out. When I'm actually blowing it out, I'm actually taking it kind of slightly outwards towards my temples. This is like a new technique that I've actually been doing recently, and it actually looks really nice. I'm just taking a tinier fluffy brush and this kind of, I think it's matte, yeah, this lighter kind of matte colour, just to kind of slightly blend out that, because as much as I have blended it, you kind of always need to go back in with a shade just to kind of re-help the blend a little bit. And I just go back in with this fluffy brush again, just to diffuse everything out. So now that I've done that, as you can see, it's kind of just this kind of brown. It looks a lot warmer in person, but so I'm going to take this same shade that I used back on this brush, and I'm actually just going to put it on the lid. So as you can see, that is what it kind of looks like. So the product I'm going to use on the lid is actually this. It's the Beauty Bay Living My Best Light like liquid crystal eyeshadow, and it's in the shade Precious Topaz. I remember buying this and I did not expect the shade to be as nice as what it is, so I'm actually just using it to kind of cut the crease. These products are amazing to kind of cut the crease because they're actually really simple to use. Because they're so stunning, and I kind of just pack that on like that. You can obviously, I am going to blend like the two shades together and stuff, and I actually just use a kind of like a flat brush just to kind of help pat this on and kind of blend it out a little bit. it just makes it a little bit easier and looks a little bit better than like just literally having it kind of like stuck on your eyes. So now I'm just going to blend the edges together. It's kind of like a half cut crease in a way, but very easy half cut crease because you're not actually having to like use concealer or anything like that. Now I'm just taking this tiny little brush and just running the shade that I use in the crease just above it, and it kind of just helps blend it into the crease. It's not like, because as much as I want this to kind of be like a cut crease, I kind of want it to be quite a soft cut crease. Now this is probably going to be a really easy New Year's Eve glam look. And then I'm taking the flat brush again, and I'm actually just going to go in with this kind of shade here. It's the kind of goldy shade, and I'm actually just going to kind of go in and kind of set over the top of this. The pigment that I'm going to use is this one. It's the Peaches and Cream Gatsby pigment. Now I'm going to try and show you this without spilling it everywhere, because this is honestly one of the nicest pigments ever. So it's this lovely gold shade. It's beautiful. I'm just taking a tiny little bit on the brush. These, if you've never tried Peaches and Cream pigments, what are you actually doing? Because they are amazing. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's honestly stunning. So as you can see, this is the kind of finished eye. It's just this really nice kind of, it's super easy as well. And it's just really blown out as well. Really easy, as you can just kind of, this is really super easy. So I'm just going to go off camera and do this eye and put some mascara on. I'm not doing lashes just yet. I will be doing lashes though. But I'm just going to go off camera, do this eye, and then come back to do the rest of my face. So I just zoomed back out and I've done the other eye off camera. Now it's time to do my face. So I did do my skincare beforehand, but I'm firstly going to go in with my Only Henriksen Banana Bite Primer. I don't actually use any other primer other than that one, and I feel like I'm going to have to either try a new one. Like, I feel like I actually just need to try a new primer, because I've been using this one since the summer continuously, and I actually don't know how it's not finished, because I do use it all the time. So for my foundation, I'm going to go in with my Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. This is my favourite. Just shaking it about. This is my favourite foundation ever. Mine is in the shade F2. It's probably the best like match for me. I remember when the Conceal and Hydrate first came out. Not Conceal and Hydrate, the Conceal and Define first came out. And I wore F1 all the time. And then I don't know why, but I just went to like Superdrug one day and I was like, oh, I'm going to actually test out like what F2 looks like. And F2 is actually such a better match for me. So I use the Peaches and Cream PC04 brush to blend up my foundation. It's actually just the best foundation brush. Sorry if I'm going to be looking in my mirror, I can't see me blending it out. So what is actually everyone's plans for New Year? I am actually going for food. I'm not going out as such. Like, I am going out. I'm not I'm leaving the house. I'm going to the restaurant Cafe Andalouse. Me and my boyfriend are actually going to the restaurant Cafe Andalouse. Cafe Andalouse is tapas, which I'm so excited about. And then we're going for drinks. So I'm just going to take my blending sponge now to blend up my foundation. I use a brush because it like keeps my coverage really high, but then I also like to blend in with a sponge because it actually blends it in better. So yeah, that's what I'm doing on New Year's Eve. And then on New Year's Day I just go over to my nana's, my grandparents, for dinner. That has been a tradition that we've done for years. Like, that's not new. We've been doing that for a very long time. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing this New Year. For concealer, for my like spots and stuff, I use the Conceal and Hydrate one. I do not use this for under my eyes. I hate it. I hate this for under my eyes. It just creases too easily. No, but I really love it for my face because it blends in really well with the foundation. And then for under my eyes, I'm using my little mini version, my Too Faced Born This Way. I got that in Barcelona, and I got it. It was one of those purchases. If you've ever been to a Sephora of some sort, oh, forgot to say, shade C3 for Conceal and Hydrate in the concealer, and the shade Snow for the Too Faced Born This Way. So yeah, back onto the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I bought that in Barcelona when I was in Sephora. I bought that in Barcelona, and if you've ever been into Sephora, you'll know that Sephora have basically at the till all the miniatures lined, like it's in the queue at the till, and they're the deadly items, because when you're in the queue you're standing looking at them and you're kind of like browsing and you're like, oh, I could get that, oh, I could get that, I could get that, and then you end up with a whole basket full. That happened to me when I was in Copenhagen, and it happened kind of again when I was in Barcelona, but I only bought that because I was like, oh, I've heard quite a few people talk about that. I've got a really bad spot there which I'm trying to like conceal quite a lot. Yeah, I had heard quite a lot about it, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna eventually buy it. And it is actually really good. I think I'm gonna buy the full size of it once the miniature is finished. I look so pale. I cannot believe how pale I look. Don't worry, this is for bronzer. Bronzer is your best friend when you are pale like me. So I'm just putting that under my eyes. So I hope everyone had a great Christmas, and everyone got really nice presents. I know I did. If you haven't seen my what I got for Christmas video, it's the video before this one. I'll link it up in the eye. But yeah, I actually had a really good Christmas. I loved all my presents, and it was just a really great like couple of days, to be honest with you. But I'm so glad it's back to normal. I got sick of creating Christmas looks. I was honestly like, by the time like Christmas came, like I'd run out of Christmas look ideas. I was like, oh my god, I was done with Christmas. I wanted Christmas over by about the middle of December. So now that I've done my concealer, I'm actually just going to go with my powder. I usually use a pressed powder as well as a loose one, but today I'm actually just going to use a loose one. This is my Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in number 5. This is honestly my favourite. Like, it's my favourite powder. Like, I've tried a couple of loose different powders, but this is honestly my favourite. This is my Morphe sponge. But they do not stock this in the UK, and I'm so sad because it is such a really good, it's a really good powder. So whenever I know someone that's going to America, I always get them to stock up on it. So I don't bake when it comes to powder. I actually just push it into my skin using the sponge. I honestly hate baking now. The only time I ever bake is if I bake under my contour, if I'm going out and I want like a really sharp contour. I keep on having to blend out, like I always have to go back into my concealer and blend it out because of the fact that my under eyes crease so easily. Like, my under eyes crease so badly that I have to like constantly, before I put powder on, I have to make sure that I've not blended in, like put powder on top of my creases. And then I'm just taking my big massive fluffy powder brush. This is one from Lottie London. I've had this for a while, and I'm just powdering the rest of my face. It's powdering the rest of my face. It doesn't help that my like, it's such a rubbish day outside, so my lighting is very poor, and it makes me look like I'm a ghost. It makes me look like I'm a ghost. But anyway, so that's my powder done. I'm actually just going to go and do my brows off camera, and then I will be back to do the rest of my face. So I've just done my brows off camera. I use all Benefit products. I use Gimme Brow Setter and Precisely My Brow Pencil. So I'm now going to go in with my bronzer, which is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is just, it's my favourite bronzer. Like, I don't actually think I have like another bronzer that I would say that is like my favourite. I use this literally all the time. So it's now time to put a bit more life back into my face. This is like my favourite part about bronzer, is that even like when I am really pale, which by the way I do not look this pale off camera, I think it's the fact that it's such a dull day today that like there is no natural light at all coming in from outside, and it just makes me look like I am pale. But yeah, I literally love adding bronzer. I actually add bronzer basically all over my face, just kind of helps warm it up a little bit. And also I don't contour on a regular basis. I actually just use bronzer on a I just use bronzer. I actually only ever contour when I am like going out. I just kind of carve out my, I like shape my cheekbones with my bronzer. Oh, I actually look a little bit better. I have looked like I've actually got a bit more life about me now. So I'm going to go in with blush now. Now, this is a bit of a sorry excuse for a blush. This is a little mini Benefit Raw Couture. It's just one of the ones that's in like the little kind of cardboard packaging, but nonetheless I'm still using Benefit's Raw Couture blush. So I just smile and I just put it on my apples and my cheeks. No, that's going to sound really weird, but I actually put some on the end of my nose. This is kind of my blusher. It's actually not that noticeable. You can see it a bit more in person, but it's definitely not like the most pigmented blusher. I've had times where I've like thinking, oh, like my blusher's fine, like it's not that pigmented, and then it's like I look a bit like a clown. So I'm now just going to go do my lower lash line, so I will zoom you in. Right, so I zoomed you guys in. Just going to go back in with this shade here on the lower lash line. Just taking it on like the tiny brush. These brushes are amazing for doing your lower lash line with. Like these brushes are just amazing for doing your lower lash line with. You can honestly like get so close to the lash line, it still blends out. This one is the BH Cosmetics V20 brush, but Morphe do them. I'm sure Unicorn Cosmetics does one, but it's in a set. Blank Canvas E10 brush.